Good evening, folks. This is Deb Delapiano, and this is your short take. So I'd like to open this video and just say that Representative Eric Swalwell was 100% correct about Kevin McCarthy. He is a pussy. And we got proof of this positively today, as he announced that he is supporting opening an impeachment action against Joe Biden. So let's get straight where we are here. We have an entire House of Representatives who's covering for a man who has now been indicted 4 times for a total of 91 separate charges, criminal, that include trying to overthrow the 2020 election. He is running around the country, running for president. The GOP has been supporting him by how? By trying to disrupt every investigation. When Alvin Bragg indicted Trump, Jim Jordan opened up an investigation of Alvin Bragg. Jim Jordan is now investigating Fani Willis after she has indicted Donald Trump and 18 other people in a major RICO investigation relative to the 2020 election. Let me get all of this straight. They have absolutely no evidence of any wrongdoing on Joe Biden, and they are launching an impeachment investigation into Joe Biden. Nancy Mace, representative, admitted publicly that they have no evidence on Joe Biden, but they needed to launch the impeachment investigation so they can try to get evidence. They have been trying to find evidence on Joe Biden for over 5 years, one way or another, either through losers that Donald Trump has appointed to look for things. This clown that's going after Hunter Biden now, they can't find anything on Joe Biden, and they won't find anything on Joe Biden because there's nothing to find. What this is Donald Trump commanding his minions that he's left in the government to go back after the Democrats in retribution for his 2 impeachments, which were legitimate. And you know what? People are saying right now that Kevin McCarthy is playing political games with impeachment. Well, I've got some bad news for those people. They may write for major newspapers, but I've been paying attention. The GOP has already been playing politics with impeachment. They played politics when they didn't impeach Donald Trump the first 2 times he was impeached, because those were legitimate impeachments, and they had plenty of evidence on both counts. So the GOP has been playing fast and loose with impeachment as a political tool now for quite some time. So let's cut that shit right off the top. We have a party that has voted against senior care, voted against lowering prescription drug prices, voted against lowering insulin prices, voted against Build Back Better, voted against the infrastructure plan, but come back out when the plan's money is being disseminated with their hands out so they can go brag to their unsuspecting, dim-witted MAGA followers how they got that money for them when they clearly voted against it. They have voted against nearly every bill. They have taken away a woman's right to choose. They have literally taken away kids' ability to learn the truth about our history. In some states, they have made it legal for people to run people over while they're protesting. And we are impeaching Joe Biden. The GOP would be embarrassing, except for one thing. They're dangerous. They're fascists. They have a smell now of power, and they will stop at nothing to establish authoritarian rule in America. We are the only protection that we have against this happening is the Democratic voters. What happens to democracy in this country is riding on the backs of Democratic Party voters. You need to know this now, a year out from the election, so that you fully understand your role in all of this. If you think that the GOP is going to straighten out, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. They're not. They're going to try to impeach Joe Biden in retribution for what Donald Trump has created himself. He is the architect of his own misery because he's a fucking criminal. Do we understand each other here? Do we understand each other here? You usually don't impeach a president until you have something on him. They have claimed at various times to have 17 tapes, and then they admitted that those tapes didn't exist. They claimed to have emails, which they then turned around and said don't really exist. They have called witnesses who have not corroborated one iota of the evidence that they claim exists. And they're going to spend all of your taxpayer dollars indicting a president that there is absolutely, impeaching a president that there is absolutely no legal cause to impeach. What are they going to use for a cause to impeach? The $5 million non-existent bribe from the Ukraine? What are they impeaching him on? The border? Or is it just a bunch of whatever they can manage to crib together because that's how the GOP works? They really don't understand how government works. They don't write bills and they don't legislate. They certainly don't govern. What they do is create chaos. And that is what they have been doing since Donald Trump was elected since 2016. And that was the goal of his election. Now, let me give this to you as straight as I can. If you don't come out and crush the Republican Party next year, do not come looking to whine on Facebook. I am not listening to you. I'm not. Everything that you hold dear to yourself depends on your vote in November of 2024. If you allow the GOP to retain control of the House and take the Senate, you will see a nationwide ban on abortion. And you will never see another legal and fair election in this country. Because if they take power this time, they are not going to give it back. It's as simple as that. And anyone who thinks this is just another election cycle and this is just politics as usual, I'd like to just tell you this. You've got your head firmly implanted up your own ass, because that is not what's going on here. Now, Kevin McCarthy is a weak-willed, simpering little pussy. And he sold his soul, political and otherwise, so he could be Speaker of the House for 2 fucking years. So he could wield a fake gavel. He's not even close to Nancy Pelosi. Not even close. That would assume that he had some kind of dignity. Kevin McCarthy has no dignity whatsoever. In fact, Kevin McCarthy should be targeted to be voted out in California. After this stunt, if this does not weaken his voting position, you've got to wonder about the GOP voters in America. If you are willing to vote along party lines and vote for a party that is advocating for authoritarian rule simply because you've been a Republican all your life, then don't talk to me about how much you love this country and about how much you respect democracy and you think that the Constitution is a wonderful document. Because the fact of the matter is, if you're still voting along party lines, you don't give a good goddamn about this country, and you might as well admit it. I'll talk to you all later.